Online, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and dreamteam.com.
You still always a monster, Tom!
Welcome back to StarSeries I-League Season 4. We're going into our second. And it was a dominant performance. Impressive from MVP. The only thing that sort of got me a little bit excited was the attempted ninja defuse or sneaky defuse. And down to business, just absolutely. Need to see a just in this matchup, and MVP having
Falling behind. Had to go. New crack team.
no, he's
Well, not all of them. Yeah, no, it is. And for MVP, they'll take any advantage they can get. Yeah, I mean, getting a pick what side you start on is always good. And Tom, you doing all good?
yeah, I'm good. Fine.
Amount of talent. It is. You've got
CT.
the that.
That helps.
It would be good if we had the word from our betting partner, LoopBet. Cool, I've just kind of thrown
the production team under the bus.
Well, no. Saying that's the only reason I asked.
Point some.
Oh, this is day.
MVP.
Something. Glow. Solo has himself a Be lining up the smokes and flashes, ready to go in. Wacky Tom. They're going to keep this plane. Go. They have to buy him time for it to be effective, but he's charging on in. Glow's opened up with one onto Snacks. Pash is able to answer back with... And actually, MVP, they managed to win it out.
That B side of the map, sectioning off the... looking for VODs, and they... there, because this is very risky. Luckily for them, there's actually not much... damn... towards middle has done catastrophic damage. And the wall beyond. And this is worrying. The man. Behind 1-to-1 nade stack from Virtus.pro was utterly ridiculous. To this one, they'll have priority and will be kept for Neil. Round MVP.
They're only throwing in smokes. One for Coffins, one for CT. Yeah, still has a smoke of his own, and that's going to delay the push. They're going to be left with about 18 to 20 seconds on that clock when they go in, if they wait for that smoke to fade. They have still got 2 more smokes to re-smoke the cross and coffins. And now the smoke starts to dissipate. 18 seconds on the clock as the push comes in. Neo's able to find the first. Bialy's there. He shuts down one. Solo's able to trade. They will be allowed to get the bomb down. It's going to be 3-on-3 in the re. He's in with the first. Well, he's able to trade, and that'll be MVP in with their second round.
Yeah, a little bit of a bonus thrown in by Virtus.pro, but at the same time, there's still a little bit of a sort of limitation when it comes to their buy, which will be Bialy on the SMG. T-side themselves, definitely not in the best case scenario yet either, as HSK only has a UMP also, and it's the reset for both teams. So this is a big, big round in terms of the early rounds of this half. It could allow VP to build up cash again like we saw on Train and just basically run away with things, or it could give the same opportunity to MVP to get a start on that T side. And that's what we want to see, some competition in this map. This is their choice as well, so expecting a little bit more, but already Neo with the aggression will remove Solo from the server for this round. Now, at least HSK will be able to upgrade to the AK-47, so has a little bit more, well, than what he did previously, but he's lost a teammate, so not really that valuable an upgrade. CT side, actually playing 2 over towards the arch side, but there's the entry. Sign goes pushing. Zeph through the smoke, tries to find more. In fact, it's Bialy with the UMP to pick up 2 instead, leaving it onto 1. Zion with the bomb peeks in. And now, while HSK is left in an impossible scenario, 4 players to find, bomb in the control of the CTs, and of course it drops forward as well, so it's now gone around the corner. Him peeking into this angle is going to leave him with nothing he can do, and Snacks will be waiting. Quick bounce back from Virtus.pro after losing just 1 round, and now again that scenario begins where the T-side have next to no money. The question for me is, do they just force? Like, 3 of the players can't buy anyway. Zyme could invest into an AK-47 and look to try and play that catalyst role. And at least then they have a chance of resetting VP straight back.
A tactical pause for MVP. And wanted to try and get a grasp on things early on. We saw Train slip through their fingers. They want to try and avoid the same thing here on Inferno. I think the T side is a good place for them to start here on this map. You know, I think since the update, it's become a lot more balanced. With some teams actually doing far better on the T side. So I think especially for not like a newer team, but a newer kind of playing versus teams of this caliber, which MVP certainly fit the bill there. They are gonna find the T side easier, just because they can always, you know, they're always going to outnumber the CTs for the most part. You're always going to have 5 of your guys going into a site, or 4 or whatever, versus 2 members of Virtus.pro. Already Bialy and Neo, though, going to open up with 2. And this eco from MVP already looks like it's going to be shut down. Zion's able to find himself 1. There's no one actually in a position to trade. As he runs forward, he's able to grab himself the AK. Mihu now turns his attention back towards the site and does get rid of Zion. Solo, with the bomb on his back, is up in apartments. Miho is going to find him. Bialy gets rid of Glow, and VP, they find themselves a 4th round. They keep it clean.
Yeah, not too much lost in terms of players. Only the 1 kill coming in. So the CT side, as you said, do begin to build up a little bit of cash. And the Ts, again, they're sort of left in a position where they well, if they do go for a buy, it's going to be mainly based around Galil's, and that's actually what they're going to do once again. Very happy to bring this rifle into play. It hasn't worked too well for them as of yet. AWP will be onto HSK, who I think in the rounds that they did manage to win in the first map, he was fairly impactful with that AWP, so can maybe look to do it again, and there he is. Pasha misses the shot. The opening goes the way of that T side, and actually they've gambled so heavily early on towards that B side of the map. There's going to have to be a quick rotation out from Mihu to at least secure that arch side. The T's looking like they are going to go challenging into middle. Mihu is actually falling back a little bit. They've got a good chance to actually break back here versus Virtus.pro. They don't have a huge amount of cash. Secondary AWP picked up. Smoke will go across, leaving Mihu with no vision, and a lot of this is going to come down to what Snacks can do. He needs to delay the push at least a little bit. Flash goes in. Mihu doesn't manage to connect the shots, and we're looking at you, Snacks. Can you hold on to this site? All the players running around the corner, and Glow will end him, leaving just 2 players left from the CT side, and actually holding on to these rifles may just be the better thing to do here. However, Neo peeks in. Bialy left in a 1 versus 5, clearly feeling confident because he's still going for this, but eventually just looks to fall back.
HSK goes from having 0 kills to netting 3 in that round. Pause going to be called in. It's pause from VP as they take themselves a tactical pause. They want to try and get on top of things. I think, you know, it's already looking not quite as dominant as their trade. There is no doubt about that. Tom, do you recall your young Polish star here, Mihu? Do you remember how he fares on Inferno back when he played in the Kingwin lineup? Because I don't recall it ever being an especially strong map for them.
No, I think they were much better at the more like puggy style of maps, like where their like strategy wasn't like the biggest point.
Yeah,
for
it's
them.
like your Cash, your Mirage.
Yeah, I think he was fairly decent at Cobble yesterday as well. I'm not sure like if Inferno is going to be one of the stronger maps for him. Because he didn't actually play that well on Train earlier though, I think that was actually a very good map for Kingwin.
I get the impression that right now VP like taking the time to try and figure out their their map pool again, because for the longest time they just didn't have one.
Yeah, at the same time it's sort of like in this matchup you're not really going to learn too much other than if they lose you'd be like, okay, this isn't a good map for us. That's all you can really
take. That's a good way of figuring it out, right? Like.
Yeah, but it's not going to teach them much.
No,
They'll be like,
true.
okay, but this, like, you want to test maps that you actually think could go well. I suppose that this is one of the ones in there because they don't want to have too many vetoes. They're still going back to sort of vetoing out Cash, which has always been a sort of problem child for VP. Even when they had one of the sort of deepest map pools in Counter-Strike, Cash, I don't really feel ever became too strong. There was a small period where Pasha was like back to being the star player where Cash actually went all right for them. But other than that, it always has been a bit of a problem, but Inferno at the moment maybe looking like a bit of a problem itself. 5 versus 4. CT side ready for that reset if they do lose this round. Only Neo over towards the B site. He has had to be a catalyst. Both times we've seen them play Inferno, and it hasn't gone too well. When he got the secondary AWP, it actually looked much, much better for them. And because Pasha hasn't necessarily been hitting a lot of the shots, it's made things quite difficult. The T's looking to push through the smoke. Neo once again has to do the work. He gets himself 2 and looks to fade away. Holds onto that man advantage. Great stuff from Neo. Actually, looking like he was going to try and go straight back through the smoke. But the bomb will go down. Got a bit of a boost attempted. Interestingly, Mihu still hasn't moved. Maybe he still thinks there's somebody flanking back. That has been the case. Zine has been holding the flank quite often for this team, but it means it's quite a slow rotation. HSK takes one down over towards the church. Solo with another. Zine chimes in with the 3rd and leaves just Pasha left. He doesn't have a kit. That AWP is going to be so much more valuable to them in the next round than it will in this. And realistically, Pasha is just going to look to try and hold on to that AWP, needing to get out of there. He hears all of the remaining players running away. And he should just about be able to save this AWP unless Zine can catch up to him. I don't think there's going to be enough time for that. So a little bit of a silver lining for Virtus.pro. It gives Pasha a chance to really have that big impact play. Other than that, though, they don't have much money at all.
No, they absolutely do not. 4-4. The economy of VP damaged. We're going to be relying on Pasha here to try and do the damage. Let's not forget, this is MVP's map pick. They should be feeling confident on it, and they are looking good right now on this T side. Pasha's opened up with a frag downrange onto Glow. But he has been tagged in the process. Damage reach out onto Zeph. Bialy is going to fall now. It all rests on the shoulders of Neo. Inside this B-bomb site, trying to buy some time. He's able to find one. Almost a second as he tags Zeph down at 24 HP. In through the smoke, Zeph. 3 frags. It's Snacks left 1 versus 3. AK on his back. He will look to try and save. And MVP, they're going to take the lead.
Yeah, T-side looking good so far for MVP. Especially considering they were broken in the second round after winning the pistol. Snacks looking to just hold on to that AK-47. Pasha did fall with the AWP in the end, so that's been lost. And, well, T-side have started to build up a little bit of money. They have momentum. This could be the resurgence of the Korean team over on Inferno. Of course, this is their map choice. Didn't see anything from them on Train, although, as said, seen them play in the past, and it hasn't been a particularly strong map for them ever, so I'm not overly surprised by this. But now, CT side, once again, will be back in with a buy. Snacks has a lot of extra utility, thanks to that AK save. Weapons will be bought up for the rest of the team, and again, they do have a fair bit of utility. It's only Snacks with a kit and head armor, which, although in most cases wouldn't matter, Zion with the Galil, it could make a small difference at least. Early nades thrown into Banana. Don't actually do anything. The patience of MVP will let them control a Banana if they want it, but for now, won't be finding anything. Molotov will actually force Pasha out of middle. Not going to allow anybody to be playing close to the smoke. And here we go, MVP looking like they're going for a bit of a faster play into mid. Zeph already manages to net the first. It's a quick trade back, and Bialy doesn't manage to connect the spray onto the second. Glow may be low, but he still survives. And now again, the site will fall to the hands of MVP. A nice change of pace, something we didn't really see too much on Train. And it does look like the Koreans have woken up. Mihu pushing back in. If he can get this kill quickly, maybe there's a chance for them to go for something in this round. Does net the frag, but he's just going to duck away with the AWP save. It has been 3 rounds worth of loss bonus, or a 4th coming in the next. So 2,900. Snacks will definitely be able to drop one, and actually Mihu could drop a rifle as well. So that save, also keeping all that extra utility, could be a nice little bonus for them. Neo even catching 1 player on the exit. Doesn't want to go down, though. Not really worth that much. And here we go. He tries to do the dosia with the Molotov, but it isn't going to work. They'll survive. 2 players for the T side, still with plenty of cash to buy back in. And now we can see some weapons juggled. Did Neo die there? He did. Yeah, after going in to throw that Molotov, he actually dies. I think he may have thought that they planted in default, and I think they planted a little bit further back. So Neo, unfortunately, actually pays the price for trying to be a little bit spicy. Not everybody can do what Dosia can do. I'm sorry.
Bit spicy.
He was making it hot in that corner.
Trying to be the man. Yeah. Well, I tell you, man of many spices, that's going to be Snacks. He currently resides over in mid.
You what?
I don't know.
You
Bialy,
what?
Up on the balcony.
Snacks known for being the man of many spices. Who knew? He's a connoisseur.
Right now. Here and Bialy, this crossfire looking full on Habanero. There's MVP about to come their way. HSK and Zine ready to go on out. Bialy, timing couldn't be worse. Going to get caught with the nade out. Zine hops down. Actually back. They're going to start to retreat. They're going to start to make their way over here towards B. And Neo, while he holds close, he's just been boxed in. This is actually a very nice play from MVP. Neo's going to go down to solo, and that's the B-bomb site cracked wide open. 3 versus 5. And unless they can find something now, this will just be a save for Virtus.pro.
Already, again, this B site, it seemed to be limited versus mouse sports as well. And there's definitely holes in this defense at the moment for VP. A 7th round will be on the board for the T side. MVP looking strong, and well, Snacks and Mihu will just look to save. Again, the max loss bonus will be coming in. Snacks can at least make things a little bit more costly. And Mihu finding one with the AWP as well. The question is, can the T's remove these weapons? They have plenty of cash to actually buy back up with, so creating some sort of eco scenario would be preferable for them. Snacks trying to just hide here, and the T's actually aren't over-facing in this scenario. They're not really going to risk too much. They'll happily keep 3 players alive and continue to make up money, make sure that they thereby can remain strong itself. And, well, once again, CT side, if they want to, they can force, and they will.
Look at this, though. Look how much money there is, Tom, for that T side. MVP, they have 10,000 on side. That is unreal. This is such a difference to what we saw on trade. I mean, even the odds reflect that. You remember, Tom, it was like 1.01 to 18 or something unreal. And now the odds, I don't actually remember them, but they were much closer.
Can we get the odds up?
Yeah, can we get those
we
back?
Can do? With the, like, I want to see.
Hang on.
Oh. No, maybe we can't. Maybe we can't. The magic isn't happening. Oh, something's coming. Nope, we're just going back into the game.
Tom, it's the game. We're back into this.
I thought there was a game.
How could you forget? We're in Inferno, 7-4 up for MVP. They're looking good right now. And it is the battle of the VPs. Ooh, nade stack goes in, does find a decent bit of damage. Would have loved for that to find a little bit more. Syndry's going to heat things up. Bialy force him forward. He goes down as a result. Zeph's the man on the entry. He's opened things up. The nades and utility have found good damage from Virtus.pro. Snacks clearly does not believe it's going to be the play. Going to be actually wrapped back to CT spawn. Grabs himself an AK. But for MVP, they're going to start to depart.
Yeah, the B site, as said, has been a bit of a haven so far for MVP. Not much success for Virtus.pro. Smoke will fall, holding them back. But the thing is, the gamble has been so often just leaving one player over towards this site that I feel like MVP are just so aware of it that they're willing to take this risk, and they will. They're going straight through that smoke. Neo, again, with a lot to do. He finds the first. The Molotov will buy them a little bit of time, and now the hesitation begins from the T side. They're going to look to try and rush back towards the A site. This is a massive risk to take. There will be 2 players just around that apartments area. One of them will be looking to try and catch out Glow, but actually Zine gets it. It's down to Mihu to hold on to this round. He hears them coming in from behind and loses his life. Back down to a 2 versus 2 as the bomb is going to be planted. Pasha and Neo to try and retake it.
Yeah, both these players struggling the last few days for VP. Now they have to try and step up because this VP economy hasn't looked that good. They're making their way down through short. Solo. There's the crossfire with Zine. He's opened up. He gets them both, and Solo doubles down. MVP going to be in with an 8th round. That's the reset to come in for Virtus.pro as well. They could go for a force here, but it isn't going to be ideal. We're probably just going to see a partial buy down of $2,000. That does look to be the case.
Do you know what I feel like's happened here? Is that... Did that say beanie?
Yeah, I think it just dropped a PUBG item. Maybe that's a shout out to some of the VP guys. They're very fond of that game.
Wow.
They are. Here's the push down through mid. And actually, VP, they've completely bypassed the majority of the players. It's just Zine here, who stands to try and pad his stats.
That's a Zine.
Ooh. Double whammy onto Mihu.
I do wonder if it was sort of like... So we didn't expect Tyloo to beat Fnatic. So it was caught off guard. So when we came into this one, we were like, okay, we're prepared to be caught off guard again. So they get absolutely dominated in the first map, and then they're like, okay, now we get going. So they could catch us off guard again. Either that, or they just weren't expecting Train to come up and they're better at Inferno. Maybe the more logical of the two. Either way, Virtus.pro actually looking like they're being outclassed at the moment. 8-4 up. They won a breakback round also in the second, so they even had like an economic advantage going into this first half. And it's now been 6 rounds in a row for MVP. There's a few players with like huge amounts of money as well. And once again, I think 9-4 is inevitable. Rotation will be in from Neo and Bialy. Of course, they have saved this round just to make sure they get the big buy in the next. They get all of that extra money and can at least fight for 6 rounds. But after the first map, I did not expect to be saying Virtus.pro are trying to fight for 6 rounds in the first half. Like, that's just incredible. A great turnaround from MVP. And well, Neo, 1v5, no kit, no nades, not even any armor. I think we're going 9-4. It's a bold prediction.
I don't know where you got that one from, Tom. Neo desperate to try and find a rifle. There are 3 players here. Zeph holds it. Neo's going to go down. 9-4. MVP. On the cusp of triple AWP. Okay. Ambitious.
Oh, I wanted more.
Triple AWP out for Virtus.pro. Neo, Pasha, and Snacks picking this up.
Yeah, pretty much everybody, if I was going to say, would pick up an AWP. I don't expect.
I thought you were acting like this is like a legit, like, yeah, no, if they were going to triple AWP.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like, if they were, this is who you would have on it.
Yeah.
But not a common strat that we see ran in CS. Clearly still feeling confident. Either that or very desperate, but I think it's confidence right now with VP.
Well, you could say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if it is broke, do something ridiculous. And that's what they've done. It's like kicking something that's broken. It's like, you don't actually expect it to fix it, but every once in a while it might work. Either way, we have Neo on the B side. Now, actually, him picking up the AWP versus Mousesports was one of the ways that they actually started to lock down this B site a little bit better and come back into that game slightly. However, they did not have a double AWP set up over towards A. Both players sort of looking to try and catch players as they push into the site. It is looking like an A takeout from MVP, although they have been pretty good at when things go wrong. They're very quick to just rotate off to the other side and try and bait in their opponents. Wraparound will be coming in. Snacks playing over towards the graveyard. It means that they are actually going to be able to sneak very far into the side without anybody realizing, and he won't connect that first shot on the side itself. Zeph has found a first, and this AWP in a retake is not going to be the ideal scenario. However, Pasha does manage to pick up a second and continues his push. Doesn't wait for his teammates and leaves it into a 2v2. He's given MVP away back into this round. Solo and HSK looking to try and hold on.
Nice injury to force Solo away. Bialy and Neo, an awkward situation. Do they go for this? Buying into the next round is tricky. They have to find something soon, but that's their way in. HSK, 1 versus 2. Bialy gets it done. Finishes them both off at the end. Can save 2 AWPs forward as well. And that is going to be VP in with a 5th round. No damage done, though, to the economy of MVP. They've got plenty of cash to buy after the last round of this half.
They could go for 5 AWPs. It'd be cool if they could, just for like the beginning of the round, just sit at the bottom and just wait to see if anybody tries to cross. A bit like on Dust 2, but not as effective.
I was going to say, were you making that comparison? And indeed, you snatched it up. So for MVP, they lose themselves 1. VP finally get around on the board for the first time in a while. We're starting to get a bit uncomfortable there, but they have found a 5th. And well, Neo over here with the AWP on B. Has Bialy with him. Of course, the 2 to clutch it out from that previous round. Now looking like they're going to have Solo and HSK come their way.
Yet to see the B site tested since this AWP has come out. As said, when we saw it yesterday, it did look like Neo over towards this site was feeling a little bit more confident once the AWP was in hand. The only thing I will say, though, is that they seemed a lot more aggressive versus Mousesports. Like, they were coming off the back of an overtime victory, so maybe still had the confidence there. But at the same time, it's just a little bit more interesting to me that they are now playing much more passive. It was sort of the aggressive peaks the Snacks was taking that actually seemed to work very, very well on Train. Interestingly, we've always had a reverse version of like Bogdan's Law, which is the player that gets tagged is given the AWP to the player that is no longer tagged. Maybe the law wasn't quite translated properly or something along those lines, but Bogdan will not be happy. Either way, we are going to have the push in. Zeph manages the first. Neo doing work with that AWP, but has a lot more left to do. Gets the second as well. Pushing back in, looking to get rid of him, but he takes 3. Big round from Neo to make this possible for Virtus.pro. The bomb is going to be going down. There's a man coming round on the flank. However, Zeph is going to have to hold on to this site while Zine comes in from behind.
Yeah, the issue is Pasha's going to get picked up. The trade should be there. Mihu's going to miss, and that is so important. That would have been it. That could have pulled this round back. But now, 2-on-2, even odds. Snacks is up from Banana. Zine's been left to fend for himself. He is going to go down. It all falls to Zeph. 1v2. 2 HP in a dream. Peeks on out. Not quite going to connect. Defuse will come in, and VP, they managed to grab themselves a 6th right at the end.
Yeah, at least getting themselves back into a closer scenario, and maybe they can pull things back over on the T side. I definitely think it's possible. At least when we were watching them sort of, I think it was a few months ago, the T side definitely seemed to be where they were actually able to grind out a lot of those rounds, the sheer aggression from these players. But, yeah, a very convincing, 7 rounds in a row from MVP. Definitely not something I expected to see after the first map. Almost sneaking a smile there as well. Just a sneaking one. It's not like as sort of laugh and happiness we saw earlier. Virtus.pro looking pretty serious, and I'm not overly surprised by that. This is a matchup that they were expected to dominate, but it does have to be said, we also saw this happen versus SK until they rectified the situation, and now we get to see whether or not Virtus.pro are going to do just that. 2 smokes picked up, somewhat expecting a similar pistol round that we saw from the MVP side of things, just the smoke thrown over towards Coffins and then one into CT as well. Somewhat of a standard, but you can see the CT side themselves have actually gambled quite heavily here. They do have a kit onto Glow, so looking like they're going for more of a retake strategy over towards this B site, and it will mean that Solo just really wants to try and get a kill and then back out of there. That's the ideal.
Out of the push, Solo is flashed back. They force him into CT.
I like that.
It's going to be 5-on-5 in the retake. 3 players making their way out Banana, and there is 1 man to try and face off against them. It's Neo. He looked pretty good. This time, it's a target-rich environment. Glow finds him in through the plywood. Zeph going to be in with 1 more downrange onto Mihu. And slowly, the VP numbers are being extinguished. Now, Snacks and Pasha, they are going to get rid of Solo and Zeph. Defuse is being held. Glow's just going to be keeping that down. They're going to go and get it. There's no time. And that's it. Glow's locked it in.
Really nice retake there from the CT side, but... Oh, hello. You also
soul searching going on.
Yeah, no, I just want to point out the pistol round, though, for MVP. I really like that smoke setup. The deep smoke all the way into the back of CT, and then one close to the side to just stop any sort of crossfire from coming in. That was excellent. It was just actually holding on to the side that wasn't. They get overwhelmed by the pistols, and MVP end up taking themselves the round. Again, they're going to go quite heavy on the SMGs, considering that there was a bomb plant. So we'll see if it comes back to bite them again. We actually saw this happen in the previous map. Again, it gives them a chance for a decent amount of utility, and also the chance to make a lot of money in this round. It's still just sort of risky in terms of when you know you're coming up against AKs in the next, or if they were to force them in this one. I don't like seeing this many SMGs, maybe 1 or 2.
Ooh, nice opener from Snacks. Zeph going to go and get himself impaled. Man, if I was taking for VP, they don't have much to work with. They got the bomb down, so it's a light investment here. They've got control of top mid. MVP do give that up quite freely. Bialy's up in apartments. 3 players for VP. Down in mid. HSK just shoulder peeking for the information. I'll see that Snacks is there. Look at this in the meantime. Snacks is all the way out on B. He does finally go down to solo. HSK catches Snacks off guard. Mihu going to go looking for his deagle. Glow and Zion going to be able to get rid of the 2 other players. It's all just Mihu left. 1v4. Over on short. Not able to find anything. Zion doubles down, and that will be an 11th for MVP. 5 rounds between them and Virtus.pro, but now the buy comes in.
Yeah, once again, we're going to see both pistols now going the way of MVP. This is where the AKs do come into play, as said, and I wonder, are they going to keep all of those SMGs? Solo actually has an extra rifle, so a little bit less. They do the damage with the SMGs, make the money. Actually, they're going to go for a nade sack. This is very aggressive, clearly showing how confident the guys from MVP are feeling. They're going to go running straight towards the likes of Virtus.pro. Trying to get close with those SMGs. The rifles will still remain to try and fight back in the rest of this round. Zeph, how far are you willing to go? Decides to stop there. Zine with the aggressive push onto Snacks will overwhelm him and leave it back into a 3v3. Now, all that's been lost so far for MVP is the 2 SMG players. So that's absolutely fine. Zine actually takes a second one on the other side of the map, peeking exactly the same angle. And now Virtus.pro are left into a 2 versus 3. MVP might be about to make this somewhat bonus round work.
$50 seconds left on the clock, and yeah, for MVP, this is huge. Zine does wait over in the pits. Rotation going to be coming around. Solo looks to try and join up with Zine on this A-bomb site. 35 seconds after timing. Bialy just misses the peak. Onto Solo. He's clearing out CT, pushed all the way up long, and they've got no idea that this man's here. Solo falls. Zine's still inside the pit, though. They're going to start to wrap to B, and they have to move quickly. Luckily enough for them, Zeph, he's left B. He's down through Banana, up into mid, and it's going to be a 2-on-2 in this retake. Bomb plant will come in. They're going to have a little bit of time to adjust and get into the after plants. Whoa, Pasha, okay. He almost missed getting the bomb down. That scared me a bit there, but then he does do so. Zeph, the first man on the scene, now has support from Zine. Pasha and Bialy. Bialy peeks out, spots the first. Now the peek in from CT, and it's all on Bialy. He's only got 12 shots to make this work. Zine going to be sticking the defuse, forcing him to take the peek, and Zeph will win it. MVP, they're onto a 12th. And right now, they are looking good on this CT side. VP, they grind to a halt. And I mean, they're not even looking like me, who yesterday was just a powerhouse for the team. And today, he's only got 8 kills here. On Train, he was quiet, and even then, it was a stomp. But I mean, originally, you kind of attribute that to the fact that maybe everyone else is just kind of beating him to the kills. But it does look like he's struggling today.
Yeah, maybe just came firing out of the blocks, or maybe just underestimated his opponent a little bit. It seems like it is happening again. Push going to be coming up towards that Banana, looking to try and overwhelm these players. Snack spamming away eventually will get himself the kill. A continued push comes in though, and Solo manages to shut down another. They've at least retrieved an AK-47. Zine will be in on the rotation. The T's are still looking to force the issue here. Still got Bialy only with a pistol. Bomb yet to go down, and there's only one smoke left for Snacks. He's going to use that just to make sure that he gets the bomb plant. Nobody can stop him doing it. Still yet to be a rotation from Glow. I think they're quite worried that there's a man looking to come around on the flank, but it's not the case. Both will be on the site. Both defending from inside B. Nade looking to be thrown over. Okay, never mind. It will actually hit the wall. And will be Bialy up close. Doesn't manage to connect. It's left onto Snacks. Has to try and hold this down. Gets the first and the second. One more to go, but Glow will deny it. He's got himself a kit. And he's going to get the defuse as well. Close, but no cigar for Virtus.pro. They'll make themselves some extra money. That was only a small investment from them. And a success as an individual round. But Snacks made that look so close that you almost have to wonder, should they have taken it?
It's currently 7 rounds behind VP. Not looking good right now. The buy's going to come in. That was only the partial. Let's not forget. So now they're once more in with a shot of trying to take this round. Early utility denies that peek in from HSK with the AWP. Over on Banana. 3 players here in B early on. There might be a change of pace to come in from Virtus.pro. They might just try for the fast A, and that's brilliant if they do head in. But that smoke into apps, you can already see it's changed the plan. They're going to instead turn their attention now over here towards short. The third man has rotated in for MVP. Glow going to be forced out from the pit. He's flashed back. HSK goes down, but there's still a man inside. That's Sign. Glow gets caught looking the wrong way. The rotations get cut off, and it's all on Solo. He's been able to get rid of Neo. But with 3 more players left to find, this round does look like it's going to go the way of MVP. Sorry, Virtus.pro rather.
You've got so used to saying it.
Well, yeah, and their names are so similar. But going to be going the way of Virtus.pro.
Yeah, 7-13. Still a long way back. But at the same time, well, it is Virtus.pro. We've definitely seen them grind out way more rounds than this in the past. Solo will at least keep the AK-47, but the real thing is the amount of damage that Virtus.pro were able to do in the last round actually hurts quite a bit more for MVP now, as there's the 4 players dropped. A lot of them attributed to Snacks. They get the bomb down in the previous, they win this round, and now the CT side just don't have much money at all. So we are just going to have to wait a couple of rounds before we really see too much. Now, we have seen somebody earlier in the day, the player, and not just being vague before a terrible joke is made, find 4 kills with a single AK-47. So we know it can be done. It was on this map as well. It was actually the round that took Tyloo to overtime. The question is, can Solo do something of the sort? He's going to be playing alone over towards this B site. He'll let the stack happen on A. I like this. I think that's a decent idea to try and hold on to things. Also, having the 1 long-range weapon means he can just look to fall back to the site, maybe take a kill with him. However, already Bialy goes pushing towards this stack site. It's actually Arch now, which has 3 players on it. The smoke's somewhat sneaky, but the 1 Catalyst player of Solo goes down. Flashbang is good. They do some damage at least. They're going to keep Virtus.pro honest in this round. And Zeph has managed to retrieve another AK and catches off Bialy, leaving it into a 1 versus 2. Should still be a very slim chance of him winning the round, but I wonder if he's going to give it a go.
Especially as both these players actually go pushing in for him. Neo's going to be there, and luckily enough, he wins that duel. So VP now, they're in with an 8th, but only 2 players surviving. Money will have to be reinvested here for the VP guys. For MVP, in a bit of a weird spot, they could go for a force, but I imagine once again we're just going to see the partial buy come in. Don't have about $2,000. Keep them with money in the bank, and still with a good shot of doing damage in this round. They buy up a few flashes and a smoke on Solo. This to me suggests that we might see a faster play coming in. And as they send 4 players over there towards B, that definitely looks like it could be the case. And this time Virtus.pro, they've got no one keeping an eye on Banana. They are just going to hold their ground initially. Solo's the man with the smoke, as you would expect. He can throw that down into mid. And that's going to buy MVP more time. And also perhaps send the message that there's more than just him on this A-bomb site. Now VP, I mean, they might take the gamble. They've headed up Banana with 4 players, bomb in tow. If they go into B now, it's going to be an even fight, 4-on-4. Bialy still rotating around. It looks like actually even Solo considering rotating off of A long.
I like this as well. The CTs have pop flashes set. The only thing that could stop them is the Molotovs they're about to be thrown in by this T side. The gamble from the CT side is perfect, so is the pop flash as well. They run in, a second comes as they do even more damage, but they've only managed to get one kill. Still surviving in the site. Zion will find another one. Make that two for him. A third comes in for Solo as well, leaving just the biceps remaining. What can he do with an AWP? Not enough. A stack, a gamble, and MVP have taken themselves a 14th round from absolutely nothing and make so much money in the process. The T side, well, at this point, again, something I did not think I would be saying today. I feel like that has become almost my signature phrase at this point. This is a last-ditch buy from Virtus.pro. It's a good buy at that, but if they lose this round, they will have 1,900. Okay, even with a bomb plant, about 2,700. So if they don't win this round, we could be seeing MVP taking us to a third map.
Yes, we could, and that is something that no one, at least I don't think anyone predicted that looking into this matchup. Zeph's able to open up, Pasha's gone down. The trade looks to come in from Neo, but some team damage done. Neo going to keep progressing. You still have HSK with the AWP holding the angle. In the meantime, this bomb has rotated over there towards middle. 2 players out on A. Right now, 4 MVP. That's going to be Globe and Zion. Zion's been a bit of a monster in these rounds for MVP, stepping up when they need him to. Flash goes round. Gonna buy precious time. When it comes to utility, neither side looking too great, but VP do have the larger belt. Bialy's able to open up. He shuts down Zion. Glow's there to trade. Solo's in with one more, and suddenly things get interesting. Glow's dropped down into the pit. He has to try and hold on to the site, and he's going to find Snacks. It's all on Mihu. 1 versus 1 with HSK. The new kid on the block for VP. Now the one that will decide whether or not they deny MVP the map point. He's going to start to wrap round. The timing means he just misses HSK. HSK clears out the site, has so many angles to keep an eye on. And Mihu, he's going to get the timing, peeks into it. He misses the opening spray, but then he's able to find it eventually. All picked up, a 3K for Mihu and a 9th round for Virtus.pro.
Yeah, such an important round for Mihu to actually wake up into as well. He's been quiet this game, but that triple kill will keep them going, will stop them from hitting that map point. And actually, the MVP are playing this very safe. They had enough money to at least get multiple rifles. Solo will go for an MP9 and put a little bit of extra cash into this round, but they want to make sure that they get themselves a full buy, and I don't blame them. They have looked like the better team in the full buy scenario. In this round at least, have a little bit of utility in terms of HEs just to try and soften up these Virtus.pro players. Bialy will catch the aggression of Zion. Neo finding another one in the meantime. Will be patience from the T side, not over-facing. Waiting for the aggression of MVP, and it has been coming. Trying to find something here. Snacks is going to net another, leaving only one player who... Oh, HSK is not going to hit the shot. Eventually gets the kill onto Snacks, but has another player rounding the corner. Bialy to try and clean things up, and it will just be Zeph left on the wrong side of the map. We're going to hit a 10th round at least for Virtus.pro. And they will, in fact, build a little bit of cash as well, something they desperately need. They came so close to being reset in the last round. As said, if HSK had won that clutch, it probably would have taken this as well. It would have been so very close, but instead, Virtus.pro have that lifeline. If they can turn things around here, they are already a map up, of course. And Zeph doesn't have the chance to even retrieve a weapon anymore because it's been thrown onto the roof by Pasha. Smart stuff from him, but instead, he ends up going down. luckily, Neo's there to make sure that he won't reclaim that AWP.
Yeah, the buy's going to come back in for MVP in these last few rounds. VP looking like they found their footing a bit more here on their T side, but MVP, their performance on Inferno has been impressive. It seems to be a pretty decent map for these Asian teams. Of course, Tyler were able to beat Fnatic on it earlier today. Secured the victory 2-0. Pasha going to take the peek down through mid. HSK looking like he was thinking about it. Didn't go in for one of his own. Let's just smoke it off and play passively. Now Zion up on the balcony. Very heavy defense over here towards short. All it would take is one smoke there to nullify that, and then they could wrap through CT, which is something MVP have to be careful of. HSK is going to be found. Zion keeps holding the angle. Bialy gets tagged, and Snacks, he does suspect that this arch side has been left open. He started to wrap round and he snuck on in. There is a man there. It's Zeph to go down. Pasha's going to get rid of Solo. Zion falls as well. It's all on Glow. And Glow's in the pit. Snacks wants to try and pick himself up a fourth. He's going to go hunting. He has Bialy nearby to help out. And Glow desperate to hold on to the M4. This is Snacks' frag. He's going to pick it up, and VP, they'll be on to an 11th. We're starting to see Snacks come back to life. He's building that confidence. He just popped a little smile then, which is always good to see.
Yeah, 11 to 14. CT side actually going to take themselves a bit of a pause, have a breather. I imagine this is of a tactical nature, which it is, and CT side can't really invest into this round. They will have 2,900 into the next, which will give them plenty of cash to actually purchase. T-side starting to build up some money of their own, so even if they do lose a round, they will at least be able to buy. And see how much will actually be invested here. They can somewhat go down to maybe around the 2K mark. Don't want to drop too much more than that, especially if they want to get the AWP onto HSK, who, well, that would have to come from the hands of Zeph, and well, at the moment, he does still have enough. Either way, we are back into the round. Just a small amount invested into pistols. Nothing crazy as of yet. No real reason to force the issue. Although the pressure may start to get to MVP. They've got a chance to bring themselves back into this series by taking their map choice and leading us onto Nuke. Nice start coming out from Solo, but Pasha's started to wake up a little bit here. He's now 17 and 17 on the board, 2 kills. Granted, it's against pistols, but it's still very easy to get overwhelmed by pistols when you have that AWP. Nade will do a little bit of damage. In fact, Glow takes the brunt of that second one. Look at the flank. Zine will be caught by Bialy. Not going to allow for any sort of heroics in this round. Remaining 2 players, both over towards that B side of the map with little to play with. And Pasha gets his 3rd kill. Definitely a confidence-boosting round for the man with the biceps. And the nade, the 3rd nade that hits onto Glow. We'll finish him off. 14 to 12. The distance down to just 2. But now we have our buy coming back in.
Yeah, VP, they've been closing the gap. And for MVP, that's pretty devastating. I mean, they've had a stellar CT side thus far. I mean, they've looked good through and through on this map. But in the last few rounds, Virtus.pro have really started to crack down on it. You know, we see key players stepping up, Pasha and Snacks in the last few rounds, building up that confidence. It's going to be aggression down through mid. Well, I like the idea. Pasha's AWP does find damage. They're going to keep going, though. Not deterred by the initial damage done. It is going to be a 3-on-3. Luckily enough, the nade from Neo and the tag from Pasha combine to drop out Glow. Zeph going to take 1 shot from Neo. That's enough for him to start to fall away. Going to be holding Solo back by Arch near Speedway for a fast rotation into B. Virtus.pro lining up the smokes and flashes to go in. Zeph shoulder peeking from CT. Smoke goes down to nullify him. He's going to smoke it off you. Imagine he pushes through. He's just going to wait. VP have used all but one smoke here, and yeah, it didn't. Sorry, it went a little bit too deep, allowing Zeph to just hold on the corner. And he's going to reposition. There's still 35 seconds. They don't have to commit to this, but as Pasha smokes off CT, you imagine their fate is now sealed. They start to make their way in. There is a Molotov on Neo. It is all down to Zeph. He has to buy time. And as they creep on in, they're going to leave it down to the wire. 20 seconds. Entry from Neo. Doesn't land right, but Neo picks it up with the bullets anyway. That's going to be the plant for VP. Solo and HSK in the retake.
Yeah, Solo, HSK with so much left to do here. Decent amount of utility. The incendiary could be enough to make the difference. Solo looking to go back through the church. 3 players there for Virtus.pro. And they've fallen all the way back. Not going to allow for very much. Smoke will go down from Solo onto the bomb just to try and bait some players into position. But HSK is already out of there. Not even going to take the risk. The CT side, they will get the maximum loss bonus. Can Solo at least remove a weapon or two? He'll get 1, but the trade doesn't really make it worth it for his team anymore. The T side will have more money here. Bialy survives in the corner. HSK will at least keep his weapon. The comeback continues. 5 rounds in a row now for Virtus.pro. And they're looking like they've got the momentum on their side.
Yeah, for MVP, this is a tough spot to be in. They can partial buy around this M4. Likely going to be an investment under $2,000. You can get yourself some pistols, some armor, a little bit of utility to accompany it, and then rely on HSK to be the one to make the big plays. HSK is going to be over towards A. Let's take the peek into mid. Me who spots it, I think. That's enough for a rotation back from Solo, while the rest of VP look to secure this site. Zeph's been spotted. Taking the peek from CT. Me who holds the angle. Solo. Going to get boosted up. VP going to move in towards this B-bomb site. Utility reigns in. Solo hides away. No one's checked the boost. Neo does turn around. He's able to find that first. Zeph is still here. Rotation's coming in from the rest of the squad. Bialy finds a frag down in the bottom of Banana. It is just HSK and Glow left, and they're going to make the decision to save. 14-14 Virtus.pro. They take 6 rounds consecutively now. They have managed to pull this back. 14-14. It's all even. A matchup that people said, you know, VP should have just been able to walk away with, Tom. MVP have made it hard for them. They fought so hard to get here. And it would be a shame to see this elude them now. They've got to buy into the next round. HSK, you imagine not going to get away with saving here. Bialy finds him. But the buy now comes in for MVP. The pressure is on. The pause is called in. It's actually going to come in from Virtus.pro. The pressure's on for either side, Tom.
Yeah, I think this may just be more for Virtus.pro to just basically calm themselves down. Because it's basically got to the point where they've now won 6 rounds in a row. You can see it doesn't look like they're really saying too much, just having a bit of a laugh. I think they know they're in the driver's seat now, and the pressure is definitely on for MVP. They will have all of the money that they desire. Everything they could possibly want, double AWPs, whatever, they can invest into in this round. Make sure that they have the full utility. It's been 6 rounds in a row for Virtus.pro, and also 8 of the last 9. Only the initial rounds on the CT side went the way of MVP. Their T side definitely looking like the stronger of the two. The real question is, can they rectify it? Have they realized what Virtus.pro are doing? And the question is, will Virtus.pro even change anything? I reckon they're just going to continue to play exactly the same. I don't think there's going to be much of a change in strategy, and it will just be a bait to try and get MVP to overthink. Oh, Pasha's removed. The nades are perfect. What a brilliant start to the round from MVP.
Yeah, man advantage taken for MVP early on. They're going to be taking aggression down towards Banana as well, and that's forced Virtus.pro back into mid. It's really restricted where VP can move, and now the rotation comes in from Solo. He's going to rejoin the rest of the gang, while HSK locks down Banana. The AWP in this position so incredibly strong. Frees up the extra man for the rotation into the A-bomb site, and now it means that VP, they're going to be walking into the more stacked of the two sites here. But it looks like it is all going to be a fake. Neo still yet to leave. Relying on the flash from Bialy to force HSK back. Flash going to go in. It hits the mark. HSK misses the shot. Now he has to form a hasty retreat. Drops the smoke. That's going to leave them with like 10 seconds if they wait for it to fade, so they're going to have to go through. They boost up Solo. They have to check for this. The smoke goes down, but it hasn't bloomed yet. Mihu falls. The bomb's been dropped, and Solo's doing damage. HSK now wrapped around, able to find one. Falls on back. VP. HSK's tearing them apart. Snax is 1 versus 5. There's no way he gets this done. And Solo and HSK between them lock in map point for MVP.
Overtime or bust for Virtus.pro. We are 1 round away from MVP taking us to a 3rd map, a series that Virtus.pro look like they should have had all day. So much money for VP to buy back into this round. I think they've actually dropped an AWP or 2 in the spawn and just like juggled weapons around and had stuff left over. The question is, can the Koreans do what they started? They set off so well in this map. They won the first half. They won the pistol. They got themselves in the driver's seat. They've only managed 2 of the last 10. They only need 1 more. 3 players over towards this B site early for the CT side. Leaves them a little bit vulnerable over towards A, but we haven't really seen too many faster plays coming out from Virtus.pro. It's mainly been the slower strategical rounds. In the last, of course, they got screwed by that late smoke that was held by HSK. An important one of that. He has another one here. Already the T side are going to make their way in towards that A side of the map. Now there's a loose hold from HSK over towards Arch, although a fairly simplistic smoke could leave him completely isolated and leave it down to the 2 players waiting in the pit. Glow and Zine with the majority of the work to do here. Virtus.pro pushing into the site.
Zine going to miss the open. Glow, now all that responsibility falls on his shoulders. And that weight might be too much to bear, but Glow, if he takes 1 more, he might have done enough. Neo's holding close. He hears the rotations coming in. It's HSK and Solo in CT. Neo instead going to try and catch Zeph off guard in these rotations. Has to be careful. He's isolated from the rest of VP. Untradeable. Solo peeks into it. Doesn't expect. Gonna go running by. Zeph now has to trade. And Neo is going to go down. Pasha has to try and step up. Peeks on round. Zeph hits the deck. It's HSK. 1 versus 2 to try and win this out here and now. Snax in the pit. Pasha in the site. And that is going to be us going through to overtime. VP versus MVP here on Inferno. And MVP, I mean, they're going to be kicking themselves. For Virtus.pro, this is big. It was a matchup that everyone said that they should win. They won the first map, but now they're through to overtime here in map number 2. And I want MVP to win this. They've played well. I want to see map number 3 come up.
I'm trying to think what sort of scoreline we actually hit in this scenario, because I think it was like, what, 14-8, 14-9 at least in the lead for MVP. And just Virtus.pro managing to do exactly what Virtus.pro have been known for in the past, stringing rounds together right until we hit 14-14, and that's when they lose one. Looking like they're about to take it over the line. They even take a tactical pause. They only have 1 of those remaining, but for the first time, we see the double AWPs picked up. Solo with the secondary. Well, first time on the CT side, I should say. Virtus.pro have had double AWP, I believe, on both sides. This time a much more standard sort of setup. Deep smoke going to be thrown in, so now likely to see the rotation back, but this time we are having faster plays in from Virtus.pro, burning down Mihu, looking to lead the charge. HSK with a pop flash. Mihu does actually find one. The Molotov nets one of its own, and the CT side are shutting this down. Pasha and Snacks trying to turn the tide. Pasha manages one more with the AWP. Rotation's already come in, and it will be down to the biceps once again. However, the rotation isn't there. If he can find this kill, he has a chance, but misses the no-scope. Zeph will give the first round of OT over to MVP. And now it's Virtus.pro once again looking to try and bounce back.
And every round, of course, in overtime is so crucially important. First round goes the way of MVP. The buy comes in for Virtus.pro. But they have to be careful. If they lose this, they've got no money, and then MVP can very easily take a flawless half based on the economy. Pasha with the AWP, going to be waiting to see if HSK or Solo try their hand at any aggression out through mid. Snacks, he's already up in apartments. Look at this from Zeph, though. Look at how confident he is. He's all the way down Banana. He's just going to go ahead and fall back. Leave Solo here, and this is what we've seen them do so many times. Now they get 4 players over towards this A bomb site. Pasha's about to peek into it. Solo spots him. Pasha's down and out for the count. Solo's not done yet, and that's forced VP's hand. They don't want to go peeking back into that. Luckily enough, Mihu, he spotted Zine over in mid, and he's gone wrapping straight through. Zeph, he has to find this frag. Mihu's positioning is massive. They're going to just miss each other. They're not looking at one another, and Mihu's been allowed to slip on by into library. There should be no way he's here. No one from MVP has a clue. Zeph's going to go walking right into him. Mihu's in with a second frag. Wants to try and make it 3, but Glow's over to trade. And now it's Glow and HSK to make a stand. Glow, he's in with a second. HSK from the pits jumps around. Snacks is left 1v2 with 25 seconds left. HSK has to buy time. The bomb's out in the open. Snacks has to go for it. Doesn't know where the second man is. He's crept on up. Solo's over it short. Snacks takes the fight with the first. Now going to go peeking into HSK. Spots the head, and Snacks is going to do it! 1 versus 2. He locks in a 16th round for VP.
Shouldn't take this much, really. Shouldn't. OT. The second round goes the way of Virtus.pro. And well, now...
This overtime has been a roller coaster, by the way, Tom. I am not prepared emotionally.
I think this whole match has been a roller coaster. The ups for Virtus.pro. Maybe the up and coming from MVP. Zine is going to have to take a hit and buy himself an MP9. The T's will have a flawless buy once again. It's going to be a rush from Snacks. He's feeling it after the last round. Doesn't manage to connect the initial shots. Will throw the nade into Zeph. Molotov looking to try and hold him out. He will push into the corner. Lots of damage being done. And actually Mihu, well, he's had enough of Snacks feeling it. He says it's my show and takes his head off. Leaves it into a 4 versus 4. Neo left on just 3 HP. Solo's still going to be standing. Actually, with the AWP, it's not in the hands of HSK this round. Banana control has fallen, but the CT side not switching anybody over just yet. It seems like Zine is tempted. It may be the right call, because there's still 2 players waiting at the top of Banana. Mihu trying to be a little bit sneaky once again. HSK is just going to be around that corner, peeks out, spots his opponent, and actually that calls the rotation back in from Zine. However, that is the wrong read. The T's are going to be making their way in towards this B site. Solo, you've got a lot of work on your hands.
That's the age-old question. Who shoots first? Solo or Pasha? Time ticking down, 30 seconds. Zine going to go in with the spray, but it's Solo. It's all eyes on him. The nade from Zine is perfect. Solo in with the quick flick. Pasha does manage to deal with him, but there's only 24 seconds left. Flashes start to rain in. Pasha's in with a second, but the trade is there. And MVP, they're going to win out the first half of overtime. 17-16. Of course, the magic number that these 2 teams are looking for, Tom, is 19 rounds. MVP, they need 2. Virtus.pro have to go flawless in this second half.
Yeah, money will be on their side, however. And that could be a complete change. As said, when Neo seemed to get that AWP yesterday on the B site, the double AWP, that was definitely where Virtus.pro looks stronger. We'll see if he'll pick it up again here. Of course, as you said, they want all 3 rounds. He's actually not. It's going to be Snacks instead. No triple AWP, so that won't be making an appearance just yet. And the T's not going to go for a single one. Maybe leads us to believe there'll be something a little bit faster. Zion already going to be throwing a deep smoke over towards that banana, which won't allow for any sort of peek. Although Snacks, he's going to be up in apps. Takes the initial look. There will be players around that area, and actually the peek comes in, does a little bit of damage onto Snacks. Not anything too crazy. Not anything to write home about, but it's enough to force him off the angle. And we'll just throw the smoke down into the apps.
Taking a flash out towards mid. MVP playing this a bit more aggressively than we saw in the first half. They look to try and switch things up and keep VP guessing. 2 of the AWPs on this A-bomb site. Pasha, like he might have tried to exploit a gap in that smoke. Does just re-smoke it. Snacks now emerges from Graveyard. He's in with the first. Tries to go in for more, but Glow's going to get a double on the entry. And now Pasha, desperate to reclaim some ground, rather. Going to be smoked off. Will be held back. 3 players left for VP. An awkward spot. I mean, yeah, they're forced into saving, which you hate to see in overtime. That's going to be map point for MVP right now.
Not something I expected to see a second time, I suppose. And also a second time today, we're going to be on Inferno. And the team from Asia has themselves map point already. We talk about saving. Well, there's not going to be that much saved. Bialy will keep the 1 rifle. Actually, will take Solo down. It has absolutely no impact.
That's the most disappointing bit, though, right? They go into that to save, and it's like they only get away with the 1 rifle.
It's enough, though. That 1 rifle actually does make a difference.
It does.
Although Pasha buys himself anyway, and it's a little bit of a waste. It means that they can still drop an AWP, and actually they will juggle around the weapons in the end to make sure that they do utilize that extra money a little bit. Either way, though, MVP. You heard me correct. MVP with 2 map points to take us to map number 3. That will be Nuke. A map that Virtus.pro have been famed for in the past. But at the same time, it's not where I expected this to be going. Double AWP setup, Neo and Pasha. This is what I wanted to see at least. Allowing them to have that rotation over towards the A site. More of a stack here. The push will be coming in. Bialy is overwhelmed straight away by the Koreans. Looking to back around, but Pasha drops the bomb. That's a really integral kill, but he doesn't know that there's another man behind. Zion quickly able to trade things back. Neo has switched up his position to try and watch for the wraparound. Virtus.pro, I feel probably as confused as I am. A lot of odd positions at the moment for the T's. They will catch off Mihu peeking into mid. Now it's just a 1-for-1 split. Left down to Snacks and Neo. One of these sites is going to come under bombardment from the Korean side. The question is, who is going to have to make that hero play?
Well, Neo's already going to start rotating around. There's 40 seconds. As he falls on B, that is it. The play's going to come in towards B, and Snacks is left 1 versus 4 with players lurking in either direction for him to try and contend with. We've seen some fantastic clutches from this man. But right now, I think even if you looked at him at the peak of his career, this is a clutch that just seems impossible. Solo's waiting in mid. Solo is going to get dropped. He's made it a 1v3. Bomb's going to go down. HSK pushing aggressively around Speedway and Snacks. He's going to sneak on by. They don't have the information that Snacks is here. He's going to spot HSK. That's 1 man dealt with, but Zeph in the corner. He'll finish it off. MVP. They managed to win out map number 2. It took an overtime, but they managed to get it done. We will be heading through to Nuke, Tom. We will be seeing all 3 maps in this series, something that I don't think anyone predicted. They looked stellar on Inferno. Can they keep this going forward? And the question as well, on my mind at least, is for Virtus.pro, that's quite a crushing defeat to have. They came into this expecting a clean 2-0. You had Mihu underperforming in comparison to what we saw the other day.
Yeah.
It took, you know, like Snacks, Pasha, the rest of the guys to actually start to step back up for that comeback to even happen. And you can tell by their faces they are not happy with this. This was not something they wanted to go to 2 maps. That's just 3 maps, rather.
Yeah, no, and interesting as well that Snacks can drop like 30+ kills and they still end up losing the map. Definitely not what was expected from Virtus.pro, but props have to be given to the other side as well. I think we've just seen some incredible play coming out from MVP, really stepping up as a team, looking much, much more, well, practiced, I want to say, on that map. We didn't see anything on Train. There was nothing there. I don't think that it's a particularly good map for them whenever we've seen them over in Europe. And just playing on Inferno, they look stellar, and it definitely looked like a lot of the time that they were the favored team up until that point when we saw the streak from Virtus.pro, and it did seem to be just as MVP were getting close to actually taking it over. But yeah, no, it just seemed like they were the better team, and it was only that streak of rounds that really made the map even competitive at all.
Yeah, and I think the real problem that we can't ignore right now is Mihu. He was the guy who was set up to be the hero yesterday. Today he's fallen silent, but there's a hell of a lot that went on in this. I mean, we saw ups, we saw downs from either side. MVP ultimately emerged victorious here on Inferno, and I don't, I think they deserve it. They looked good across the board. They're I was going to say their CT side, but like either one of their sides were just fantastic.
Well, I think their T side was definitely the better of the two. I think it was the fact that they got the pistol round and then were basically, because I think they were based on like 14 rounds before we really saw too much. So I think their T side was definitely the better of the two. But at the same time, I think there needs to be like fingers pointed at this B site defense from Virtus.pro. Because, well, we've got a highlight of it now. When they got the AWP, Neo actually seemed like he was doing pretty well. But without it, it looked like abysmal. They kept getting overwhelmed. Like, faster plays just seemed to overrun them a lot of the time. There were an awful lot of rounds just where the bomb would go down on the B site, and they'd either just have to give up on the retake, or they'd attempt it, and they'd lose. And then you could say almost the opposite for MVP. Like, some of the earlier rounds, at least, when they were retaking, it actually looked fairly good. So, yeah, a little bit worried for Virtus.pro. Obviously, we're going on to a map which, as said, well, with Taz in the roster, was still a mantle of this team. So realistically, I still feel pretty confident in them taking the series. But at the same time, for me, it just depends on how this map plays for MVP. Because I do think that their Inferno, it looked good. It looked like they had everything down. Everything was like, well, all their rotations were good. They had a lot of sort of strategies that they were throwing in. That all looked good. On Train, they didn't seem to have anything. So now I'm wondering, are we going to see Nuke as like a comparison to Inferno, or is it going to be a comparison to Train? And in my mind, I think it's much more likely to be a comparison to Train.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I'm feeling about it, Tom. I'm looking forward, and I have to agree. Like the extremes are absolutely unreal with this team. You know, like Inferno, they look like they could have taken on almost anyone. Then you look over at their Train performance, and you know they barely
got obliterated.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how this third map Nuke does go. We'll be back with that after a break.
LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.GG, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.GG today.
It's the quick scope! This is unreal! Anything is possible! Anything is possible!
You still always a monster, Tom!